Tehran and Islamabad, Kabul has not threatened to deport me. Neither have they prevented me from visiting Afghanistan again in the future in case I attempted to report on the situation of the Baloch in that country. Moreover, none of the people I met will face any problem for speaking with a foreigner, at least not from the Afghan government. Yes, Afghanistan is a war-torn country, you all know, but isn't Pakistan as well? I'm very sure that there are more Talibans in the city of Quetta than in the whole numerous province. And to this you have to add the myriad of Pakistani agents who are largely responsible for the missing Baloch we are focusing on today. And what can we say about the situation in Balochistan under Iranian control? After several years as a journalist in conflict regions, West Balochistan has been without doubt one of the areas where I felt the biggest fear among the local population. It truly reminded me of my time among the Syrian or the Iranian Kurds in the sense that nobody would dare to speak with me. Small wonder here, as being seen talking to a suspicious stranger today can lead to a public execution tomorrow on charges of being an enemy of God. This is Iran in the year 2010. Before my first visit to Balochistan last year, I remember asking average Persian and Punjabi people on the street about their perception of the Baloch. Most of the Baloch are terrorists, I would hear repeatedly in Pakistan. Do not go down there. They are terrorists and drug smugglers, was the recurrent buzz in Tehran and Isfahan. The reactions against the Baloch were always strong, but I rarely came across anyone who had ever visited the area they recommended not to travel. I conducted the same experiment among the Afghans during the weeks I spent in Afghanistan before arriving in North Balochistan. The majority of them described the Baloch people as combative, honest, or simply humble people. Most of them are nomads. They cause no problem at all. I heard more than once. Trust me when I say that I hardly heard any negative comments about the local Baloch in Afghanistan. And the question is, could those arbitrary borders possibly draw such a big difference among the same people? What I'm trying to say here is that the travel ban to the area for journalists may appear to be of lesser importance when compared to the hatred towards the Baloch inculcated by both Tehran and Islamabad. First, they are accused of the most horrendous crimes, and then, when the propaganda has achieved the desired effect, the Baloch can be hanged in public squares, dumped from helicopters, or the village is razed without the rest of the population uttering a word of protest. The goal here is to make Iranian and Pakistani citizens fear the Baloch as a whole, for the entire Pakistani and Iranian population cannot be deported the same way as the handful of foreign journalists who will visit the region. Many of you will probably think that I still haven't answered the key question in this discussion. How can we make the world media open their eyes to the terrible ongoing situation in Balochistan? I wish I had the right answer to this, but all I can do is contribute a couple of ideas. Let's not forget that Balochistan is full of brave local journalists, victims as well as direct witnesses to events there. I know several of them, but I won't mention their names in order to avoid a public exposure that may bring them more harm than good. Nonetheless, I do believe they are the key. Foreign independent journalists like myself can travel to the region, but we will never have either the access or the understanding of the conflicts locals have. As I said before, I cannot go to either East or West Balochistan, even though I truly believe that I can continue working on the Baloch issue in several ways, either by attending meetings like this one, but also by serving as a bridge between those local journalists in Quetta, Ghouta, Zahedan, etc., and the Western media I regularly work for. I know this deal is far from being fair, as the most dangerous part falls to them. Field work in a scenario where they are literally risking their lives. Just for this reason, the role of foreign journalists here should be to knock on every door of every newspaper, magazine, radio or TV channel, so that the cry of an entire people finally reaches the general public. I would like to finish my talk by bringing to our memory all those Baloch colleagues who have been killed, beaten or harassed by Tehran and Islamabad. And I also want to convey the best of the luck to those who are still alive and active, and above all, my most unconditional support. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. You draw a very, very illuminating contrast between your freedom to go home and the freedom of journalists in Balochistan who cannot and who are risking their lives. Questions for Carlos? No questions.
Yes. I just want to ask Mr. Carlos, what was your, as you mentioned, your first impression when you went to Balochistan about the local people or the simple people, which is personally I want to get, which you say a lot of Baloch, the witnesses, their families, the second question. So how did you find to get them to talk to you? It was difficult for you, or they was threatened for you, or how was that situation, both from the victim's family and the normal people living that?
Mm-hmm. Well, as I was explaining before, it was very, very difficult to get to speak with ordinary people in Western Balochistan. I think I can count the people I spoke with the fingers of a hand, you know. Because the situation there, I mean, there are almost no foreigners at all. So either you're a journalist or you are an agent for the Iranian authorities, you know. So if you are seen speaking with a foreigner in the street, you are very likely to be in trouble. In Balochistan, in Pakistani Balochistan, it was a bit different. People were afraid, but the Baloch issue is more public in the street. You can come across Baloch flags, you can come across these kind of posters in the streets, or posters of Balach Mari, or the martyrs of the Baloch cause. Whereas in Iran, that's unthinkable. I mean, there's no way you can spot a Balochi flag in Iran, or nothing Balochi related at all. What struck me most was the poverty of the region. You know, if you travel in Iran north to south, I mean, if you compare places like Isfahan or Tehran with Saidan, well, Saidan is still, you know, it's not the majority of the population is Farsi now. But outside the city, you know, the lack of infrastructures and the poverty it's very striking. And in Pakistan, it's even worse. You know, we're talking about almost no roads, no train lines, no hospitals, no schools, nothing. So it struck me a lot to come across such a backward region, especially if we have the chance to compare the region with other regions in the country. I don't know if I answered your question. Did I answer your question?
I was wondering, when you were in Iran, was there discussion of, in a sense, US or CIA aid to minority groups in Iran? There's a fear on the part of some that the US is playing on minorities in order to weaken the central government. I was wondering if this was brought up in discussions, or what echoes you might have heard.
Yeah, there's always this rumor about the US financing Jundullah, like the local insurgency, Sunni Baloch insurgency in Iran. I couldn't tell, you know. I think, as far as I know, it's just rumors. I haven't come across a proof of that. And as I was explaining to friends before, I'm not an expert in the issue. You know, I'm just somebody who's been there and somebody who's bringing testimony from the street. But I don't dare to do like a broader analysis on, you know, which games have been played there. But of course, that's a very recurrent buzz, you know. But Iran always blames the Mossad and the CIA and the British intelligence, all the foreign interests. They always do. But you know, I don't know, cannot tell.
Pakistan government gave to you permission you go to Baloch people speak?
No. They don't give you permission. You know, I travel in order to be able to visit Western Balochistan. I took advantage of the situation during the elections last year in Iran. All the attention was focusing in Tehran. So I spent some days covering the elections issue, and then I head down directly to Tehran. So then I crossed the border from Iran on a tourist visa, because you never know if it's wise, you know, because if you are spotted, you will be taken for an agent. It's worse, you know, if they catch you with a journalist visa working there, they will deport you. But on a tourist visa, it's pretty sensitive. But I was, you know, I think I was very lucky. I was telling to friends before, I think I was a bit unaware of the risks I was taking. People told me, "Oh, you're brave, you went there." No, I realized how risky it was when I was back. You know, I was simply unconscious. You know, if somebody told me, "Yeah, you can go, you get your visa and you can go tomorrow," I don't know if I would go back to Pakistani Balochistan.
But you was in the Kolkata.
Yes.
But you not speak with the Balochist people?
Yeah, of course. I
Speak with them. Okay.
Yeah, I had, thanks to people here, I had very, very good contacts in Quetta. So I had access to political leaders, to leaders in the underground, to fighters. Yeah, I have to say that I managed to do all that thanks to the help of two very brave local persons in Quetta.
Did you have Pakistani visa to go there? I mean, you crossed from Iran.
From Iran.
So did you have Pakistani visa at that time?
Yeah, because I took my visa. I got my visa in Madrid.
Okay. And when you crossed the border, was there any checking, or how did you cross it?
Well, it was strange because the police arrested me in Thailand, and they didn't speak any English, and I wasn't sure about what was going on. You know, at the beginning I thought, okay, I'm done. You know, they know I'm working as a journalist, so I'm in trouble. They just gave me a free ride to the border, and nobody actually. Throw it from the window.
I'm sorry about
No,
that. I'm going to kill it now.
So it was strange because they drove me to the border, and I think they just wanted to make sure that I was just living. I got my exit stamp on my passport.
Right.
Sorry, can